moonshine out of this thing.
Right.
Would you like some moonshine?
Moonshine through a straw.
All right. Very nice. Okay. I opted to not shoot this on a tripod because I thought I could be more spontaneous with it.
Spontaneous, wow.
Without it being on a tripod. We'll see how
Exciting.
bad an idea this is. But anyways, this is a companion clip to the episode we just taped. We have Rhonda Parker over there and Mark Parker to the side, and it's a creative team and vacuuming.
I think it's a blender.
It's a blender. Oh, is it? Oh, very nice. And they are the creative team that is Beaver Alley Studios out of Albion, New York. And let's see. All right. The most recent film that you shot was Message in a Bottle, right?
That's correct.
That's right. So look at you. You're all like very composed and stuff like this. Well, I'll try to see if I can mess that up. How do you feel now that it's over with? Do you feel that you got everything that you wanted on it?
I'm going to Disneyland. Now, I'm very glad that it's over with. It was very fun, but
Okay.
it was one of the more stressful film shoots that I've been on.
Okay. Okay.
Just because when you want to do better,
Sure.
the constant attempt to do better and the lack of resources crew-wise.
Sure.
Pretty much we were a two-person crew for the entire shoot, and, the extra pressure of children and their parents being there, just making sure that you didn't work the children too hard and being out in the sun with them all day long.
Okay.
That was a lot of pressure, and then of course location-wise we had some bigger scenes, we had some action scenes and that sort of thing which we've never done before. And so that was a challenge to work that out safely.
And then you had also other personal things going on with this too, because you had an accident. Mark had an accident earlier, and that kind of threw a monkey wrench into things. So you had to deal with that.
Prior to starting filming,
Yeah,
when we were doing
yeah.
pre-production, I chopped my foot with a lawnmower.
Right. So like, how did that become an issue during the shooting? Once the shooting started, because it was like, when did that happen? Like a month and a half before, or even less?
Well, luckily I healed well.
Okay.
And healed quickly. And
Okay.
I did have to step in water a few times, which I was leery about doing. I had bought rubber boots.
Okay.
Didn't really end up using them beyond the first day.
Okay. All right. So.
So it went well.
Yeah.
Considering.
Cool. All right. Now I know that you guys have been. You guys have not been. You've been. How am I trying to phrase this question? You've been devoting yourself to the creative life entirely for the past 2-3 years.
Year and a half.
Year and a half. All right. But you finally had to go back to working again, right?
Yeah, we decided that we needed to have food and money to pay bills. You can't just be artists forever.
Okay. So how tough was the adjustment going back?
Oh, it's not too bad. It's actually, I like the schedule. I like to be completely busy and have all my time scheduled. And I think even though he doesn't like it, it's helpful to him to have the regimen schedule, because otherwise we'll sit around till noon and say, oh, we haven't done anything yet. We should do something. And then 2 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock, and then 5 o'clock. We haven't done anything today.
Right, yeah.
Being an artist,
Right,
it's fun, but it's overrated.
Okay. So it's tough. It's tough because when you work on your own, you have to be the disciplinarian.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And I can only do so much of that. I don't want to direct every aspect of my life. I can only be bossy so long. Believe it or not, I get tired of being bossy.
Okay. No way! It comes out naturally. So now, let's see. Now, with this last film, Message in a Bottle, was this one, I know Mark had some input in terms of the choice of what you guys were going to do next. Is that correct?
Yes, this project he said we can't do a romantic comedy again. I've written like 3 romantic comedies.
Okay.
And then I had some ridiculous comedies, and we'd already done that with Only Bananas. And he said he wanted to do something more dramatic and dark. Like he said, like Stand By Me, only completely different Stand By Me and darker. And so I had to run the story by him, which originally he wasn't real sure about the whole concept of the journey, the message going on the bottle, because it was like they have to have some reason. And then as I came up with the ideas for the darker elements that happen, he was on board. He's like, yeah, make this happen and just make it even worse, and let's make Terry cry. That's what he said. I want to make Terry cry.
Well, that's not so hard to do, but damn it, this film was a jerk, and I always kept crying. Thinking about it, yeah, as a quick synopsis, for people who don't know, Message in a Bottle is...
About a
how would you
trio
describe
of preteens that go on a life-changing journey to rescue a child that's sending messages downstream in bottles.
Okay. And they look like they might be in trouble. And that's why they go, right?
And we not only see what happens on their journey, but we see how it affects their lives when they get older.
That's right. And that's where it takes kind of a darker turn, right? So,
yes.
All right. Now, Mark, were you just interested in like doing something different, or were you just like fed up with comedies? He's like, man, the world is just a darker place, and maybe we should address it in a more realistic way. Is that what was going on?
I just want to do something different, I guess.
Okay,
more than anything.
that's good. That's fair.
Not that,
I wasn't sure how much it was a philosophical thing or not.
To prove there.
Okay,
Just
all
Don't
right.
be one-trick ponies.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, sure. No, that's cool. That's
do a
cool.
variety and
All right.
expand our horizons.
So, do you have? This is rather soon to say, I think, because I know you have a number of projects that are now in post-production. Because you have Lonely Bananas, you have which you finished up in February, March. That's right, March, and Message in a Bottle, and those are two features. And then you also have a number of shorts that you want to put together for an anthology, right?
Yes.
So you have a crap load of stuff to put out. So it's probably too soon to even think about another feature. Having said that, what are you working on next?
I have promised that I will not. I can write stories, but
Okay.
I will not, for at least a year, film them, because I don't want to be those people that have the projects that sit around forever and they never get done, and then people go, "Oh, what are they doing making something else?" You know?
Right.
So I just think that that's unfair to all the people that worked hard on it. They want to see it.
Right.
They deserve to see it, and
Sure.
we need to get them cranked out there.
Right. Although, as a writer, it'd probably be nice to have some time just to write a script and get a few drafts out of a particular script. Because this year, I know Lonely Bananas was like barely made it to like a first draft.
Yes.
And then Message in a Bottle was first draft, but then it seemed like due to personal circumstances and stuff like this, that you kind of like, so it'd be nice to kind of like nurture one maybe a little bit more
not
fully,
the 20 years like with Friends.
Okay.
I sat on that for 20 years. But it would be nice to, because I get scared that you're just going to crank out garbage if you don't let it simmer and think about it and just, and don't just say, assume it's brilliant and make the movie and then go, wait a minute. I think we're going to get lucky with Lonely Bananas and Message in a Bottle. I think that there was so much going on in Lonely Bananas that it's just hysterical, so people can't help but laugh at it.
All right.
And Message in a Bottle, I think we got enough eyes on it to, enough people, to assure that it had substance, it has a lot of quality, and I I was happy with it. My customers were happy with it.
Okay. And you're in a band, right, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. What band are you in?
I'm in Flipside.
Okay. You're in one band only, or are you performing a bunch of?
One band. Yeah.
Okay. And is it original material, cover?
It is cover material, classic rock, just a basic bar band.
And you sing in it?
I sing, yes. I sing, play a little guitar.
All right. Cool. And and you guys mostly work out of Albion?
Mainly out of Leroy.
All right. Close to Rochester, right?
Close to Rochester.
All right. Very cool.
Centered out of.
Very cool. Nice. All right. So, what are your biggest film influences, Rhonda?
Well, Kevin Smith.
Okay.
And John Hughes. I like Rob Reiner, a lot of that stuff, like Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride.
Okay.
That sort of thing. If I had money, I would make something a little more adventure-like and, bigger than life, like those sort of things. Or Star Wars or something like that. But, I stick with the relationship movies because it's doable on a budget.
Okay. And what about you, Mark?
I have similar influences. I've watched the Kevin Smith stuff and, and the John Hughes, of course. I like to do what's doable also because that's a big factor. You can't go out and do this huge action movie when you don't have a huge action movie budget.
Sure.
You have to keep it bring it in.
Now you're also part of more like the technical team. So you do the cinematography, you do the editing and stuff like this. Do you have like any sort of like behind the scenes influences?
No, not really. I all I know is what I see on screen, and what I like to see on screen.
Okay.
And I take a lot of direction from my director.
All right. Neat. Neat. Well, thank you for this opportunity to talk a little more with you. And
that's not at all creepy, sir.
well, I'm still dressed. So, well, that was great. It was great talking to you. I'm glad you guys had an opportunity to actually find this place and get here on time faster than me, even though I live closer to this. So, all right. Thank you.